We always had a lot of people on the street, around in the neighborhood, and I started to see people knocking on the door of the rectory. And it was just knocking on the door, and they'd get a bag of chips or a can of pop. And I knew something was going on. I wasn't quite sure what it was, but as time was going by, I was seeing more and more people coming to the door of the rectory, and I realized it was Father Tony and Father Eric that made a conscious decision to try to alleviate some of the need that existed in the community. And that eventually moved to some sandwiches that people were making. And so when we look at the corporal works of mercy, this is it. Feeding the poor, giving drink to the thirsty, sheltering the homeless, clothing the naked. All of these things are done here.
We started with 350 pre-pandemic, and in post-pandemic now, we're at 500 plus a day. 500 meals going out every day, 7 days a week. And this could not happen without people taking responsibility for their faith and putting their faith into action by making financial contributions. This program is costing us about $1 million a year to run currently. And it's only through the goodness of people and that want to make a difference that we're able to do this.
I used to be homeless and addicted to drugs, so I would be a guest here of the door, but eventually I got sober. I reached out to Father Tony to see if I could come and volunteer here. What the church has done is it's allowed me to still be a part of that community, but be a much more positive part of that community. So now all these people that are out there that I used to do drugs with, now they're coming up to me and they're saying, Leon, if you can do it, I can do it. Like they never in a million years thought I could do it, but now that they see me, it gives them a little bit of hope, which makes it so worthwhile to be out here and doing what I'm doing.
In 2020, I just happened to become aware that the diocese had this 19 acres of property that they were not using. You know, what a beautiful piece of land. And it's so quiet, and it's just sitting there doing nothing. So talked to a bunch of people about what I was thinking, and slowly people came on board. The first thing we did was bought a small tractor, and we thought, okay, well, we've got to go to work now. And before you know it, we were up here planting zucchinis and potatoes and beans, carrots, all kinds of herbs, watermelons. We planted apple trees, pear trees, and everything just started to grow from there, and basically all run by volunteers. And it's people that just want to get out of the city and find a place to escape the hustle and bustle that's going on. So we bring it back down to our door. Most of it goes back to our door and is used in salads and for cooking our meals. And we also, any abundance that we have, we give it away to our guests on Friday at our barbecues, so they can take that home with them and continue to experience the goodness of the earth.
And to see the crisis of housing at this time, to see families out on the street, you know, whether you have a faith base or not, you're a human being, and seeing children that have to live outside in tents, and seeing adults who, you know, by no choice of their own are living out on the streets because they cannot afford housing is really sad. And our response to that is important. And so the Mazenod Door has, you know, there are other housing initiatives throughout the city, and all of us are working together to try our best to work together and provide housing for those who are homeless. And this is our little way of doing it.
We searched high and low and found this home. We opened it in October 2020, and it now serves men who have come through Mission Services shelter system and are very thankful to have a room they can call their own. They share meals communally and do a lot of things together.
This was our first model and first kind of push forward with the housing model. And since then, we've purchased another house And that we have 5 ladies in there that were all in the shelter system. We have 2 apartments, and we are expanding in more. We are also working with some immigration persons and families struggling with the immigration process and trying to help them out as well. So there's lots of things happening, and we are looking to expand, and the feeling of safe and the feeling of wanting to go back to school, the feeling of wanting to go out and get a job now because their housing is secure and they don't have to worry that they've got to be out in a couple months, or where are they going to get the finances, because it's affordable housing, and that makes a difference.
Because at the end of the day, whether you're on Ontario Works or Ontario Disability, there really isn't enough money at the end of the month to make ends meet. So the guys have to use food banks and other resources, but St. Patrick's and Mazenod Door have been a vital asset for them, not just with food, but also with hygiene products and other things of that nature.
Our housing model at the Mazenod Door, we're slowly moving forward and developing and seeking out the wisdom and knowledge of other service providers and other housing providers to see what is the best model that Mazenod Door can do. How can we support people, and how do we sustain it so that this is not just a couple years initiative, but this is something that can really impact and make a better life for many human beings who come and be a part of it.
I think what's most important is when you start to learn their stories and when you start to talk to them on a daily basis, you start to see the face of God in the people that come to the Mazenod Door. And for me, that's what's most important. You realize the story that is there, and you realize their struggle, and you realize that that could be me. That could be a member of my own family. That could be someone that I know.